Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a motorcycle racing TV show, Team Chicago Challenge. My email is teamdan45@gmail.com, and I'd love to hear from my audience. We're running the WERA National Endurance Series. Final event, race number 10, is the GNF Grand National Final at Road Atlanta. Steve Karson's looking great in practice. I'm doing okay. And all we got to do is run a good, smart race, and we should win the championship. So let's check out what happened at Road Atlanta in 1999 with the WERA National Endurance Series. And don't forget my email, teamdan45@gmail.com.
As the bikes go out for a warm-up lap, it's like Scott Fisher on Neighbor of the Beast, 665. There's only one class championship that's still up for grabs, and that's heavyweight super stock. D&D Racing is leading by a margin over Carlisle Racing. Plus coming into here, Arclight Suzuki, the number 2 bike, is sitting in 3rd place overall. Army of Darkness is in 2nd. Semop Brothers already wrapped up the championship, but Arclight Suzuki would like to do battle and move into 2nd place at least. But Army of Darkness has got a secret weapon. Of the final endurance, jumping out front, Semop Brother Racing, right with them though. Arclight Racing and Army of Darkness. Whoa! Almost going off that 1000 Yamaha, Semop Brother Yamaha. Boys, he gets into a rear end slide. Now up front is Arclight Racing, the California team, and it's Suzuki Pirelli Motion Pro, but the secret weapon in 3rd place is Mark Young, is riding with Army of Darkness. And even though that bike looks the same, all black, they've got a 750 that they're racing with the Army of Darkness bodywork on, the big Vesra sticker on it, special sponsorship program as Arclight Suzuki leads them down the long straightaway. And the teams go flashing by, but Mark Young on that 750 Suzuki running heavyweight superbike is giving battle to Semop Brother. Paramount on that 600 Yamaha is running 4th, Carlisle 5th as we swing with the Corona, Etsuko, Suzuki, Hayabusa 1300. Mark Young has moved into 2nd place on that Army of Darkness 750 Suzuki. As he tries to shake Semop Brother Racing 1000 Yamaha. But the points battle for 2nd place overall between Arclight Suzuki and Army of Darkness. Arclight Suzuki is only a few points back. This race will decide the overall. Semop Brother and the 1000 Yamaha has got the overall championship wrapped up. We see the Semop Brother 1000 R1 getting ahead of Mark Young. They come down into the S's. We got a rider down, vehicle on the track. They watch Arclight Suzuki starting to stretch his lead. It's Trey Beatty. Battle going on between Tapeworks and the 600 Suzuki. Now 1000 Yamaha of Psycho Speed, the Canadians, number 77. Neighbor of the Beast, Team Extreme 2, and Steve Karson on the Team Chicago YZF. Now we're going to get a tech tip with Steve Brubaker.
Hi, this is Steve Brubaker with your Dunlop Tech Tip. Today we're going to talk about changing tires and ride height on your bikes. Whenever you change tires, the tire isn't always the same diameter, which makes the bike sit higher or lower, especially if you're going to a company's brand new tire, as in our new 207 Star. Now here's what you got to do. You got to measure the tire when it's on the rim. Now we're going to measure a couple of tires over here. It's going to be off the rim, but that's just so you can see what we do. Here's what you do. Take your measuring tape. Got it? Now you bring it around and you measure it. This one here, 189 millimeters. Now, of course, you would do this on the rim. You measure the tire that you're taking off, and you measure the tire that you're going to put on. Now, these two tires, one's our standard 207 GP, the other one's our new Star 207 Star. The difference in these two tires is 2.5 millimeters. So once you measure this tire and measure this tire, you'll be able to find that out. Well, if this tire is 2.5 millimeters smaller, your bike is going to sit lower to the ground. That's bad for ground clearance, but more, it's worse for the geometry of the bike. When the bike doesn't have the same ride height, you don't get the same feedback, you don't get the same stability, and of course it doesn't steer very well in a corner. So what you have to do is take the difference in diameter to find out the radius, or find the circumference of the tire, determine the radius by dividing by pi, 3.14, and then subtract one from the other. Now you know the difference. The only problem is that's only half the distance because your axle is halfway in the middle of the tire. So divide by 2, now you know how much you have to change the ride height. Difference in these two tires, like I said, 2.5 millimeters. Divide that by 2, that's 1.25 millimeters. Now you're going to have to raise the bike 1.25 millimeters. So you slide the fork tubes down. Of course, measure it before and after, make sure you do it right. Do the same thing on the rear tire by adjusting the shock. If you make it exactly the same as it was before you change tires, you'll have a much better ride, you won't have any handling problems, and the bike will steer really nicely in the corners.
Thanks, Steve, for that tech tip. Uh-oh, disaster strikes. Leaning Lizard and that Team Green, Kirstein's Kawasaki, has crashed in the first hour. Up front is still Arclight Suzuki on that 750 Suzuki. Semoff Brothers running second on that 1000 Yamaha. 44, that's D&D Racing on the 750 Suzuki. And they're in 6th place. The Etzko Suzuki Corona Light 1300 Suzuki, they're running in 5th place. Steve Karson getting ready to come back into pits. It's going to be my turn to take over the Team Chicago YZF 600 Army of Darkness. Number 99 is running in 4th place. Number 20, that's MR Racing on that 1000 Yamaha. Right behind him is Psycho Speed.
Figure about 50 minutes.
As I head out to do battle at Road Atlanta, a little gas spilled on the gas tank. Caught around the gas cap. I don't want the gas to spill on me, but I got to get on the gas, get through turn 1, head up the hill towards turn 2. Looks like that Arclight Suzuki going by. Number 71, back on track as I come through the S's on the Team Chicago YZF 4 and 6 prepared Yamaha dealers, Race Tire Service Dunlop, AirTech. But this is the same engine we ran the 24-hour, and it's getting a little slow. Boy, do I wish I had my R6. I wish the parts came in for my R6. I head down this back chute. 22 coming by. It's Team Extreme Endurance out of Canton, Georgia. They're sponsored by Team Extreme, Pennzoil, Suzuki of Canton. Let's head through these new corners, the left and right. I like them. Some people still think back to the good old days with gravity cavity. As I head down the front straight. We're in 19th place. Boy, you do need some horsepower here at Road Atlanta. Meantime, number 3, Firestorm, they're hauling. They're running 9th place. That EBSCO Suzuki, number 46, is running in 4th place, running at 1300. Hayabusa Suzuki. But up front, Arclight Suzuki. They're hauling the bacon out here with Trey Beatty and Lee Agree on that Suzuki Pirelli Motion Pro. Army of Darkness running in 5th place. Penn State is running in 7th place. 2nd place, Semoff Brother Racing. And that Yamaha Rai EBC Motul Sprocket Specialist. And after 2 hours of racing, it's Arclight Suzuki up front. Semoff Brothers running 2nd. MR Racing's running 3rd. EBSCO is running 4th. Army of Darkness is 5th. D&D Racing 6th. Penn State is 7th. Psycho Speed Racing is running in 8th. Firestorm is 9th. Team Extreme 2 is 10th. Nielsen is running in 12th. Carlisle's 13th. We're in 19th. As I come upon number 73, DRS Racing on a 750 Suzuki. And these guys definitely got a few horsepower on this Yamaha. I draft right in the tail. We head down. Pull out of the draft, late break, and I make the pass. But now I got to head back into the pits and turn the bike back over to Steve Karson as we get into the 3rd hour at Road Atlanta at this GNF with WERA. And Arclight Suzuki still up front, Semoff still in 2nd. So it's 1 Suzuki, 2 Yamahas, and a 1300 Suzuki in 4th with EBSCO Corona. Heading into the pits, number 20. It's MR Racing, and by now on that Leaning Lizard. It's like Tracy Scheidler and that Kawasaki Team Green, Theo's Wheels, Kirstein Cycle. These are the same guys. Semoff, in fact, Michael Barnes. So you get right back on. This team, it's Michael Barnes and Paul Youngman. Putting 2 bikes out here at this final, letting everybody on the team, the guys that ran the 24-hour. Steve Karson comes by in the Team Chicago, YZF. Back on the charge now after having a blown head gasket is number 4, Tapeworks. 106, that's Team Extreme, and they're running 11th place. Nice solid race. That EBSCO Hayabusa Corona is running in 4th. Is Steve Karson under the bridge on the Team Chicago, YZF, Yamaha dealers, 4 and 6 prepared. Moving us up to 17th place. Heading down the back chute. 44. It's D&D Racing and running in 6th place. Nice solid ride. Carlisle Racing is running in 8th place. But their chances of capturing the championship are fleeing. You see Arclight Suzuki has got a 72-second lead. They're in 1st place. So you see him pass Steve Karson, Arclight Suzuki. From Lafayette, California, Tracy Scheidler brings the Kirstein Team Green Kawasaki back into the pits. They lost 20 minutes with that crash in that 1st hour. And after 3 hours of racing, it's Arclight, Semoff, MR, EBSCO, Army of Darkness, D&D, Penn State, Psycho Speed, Carlisle, Firestorm, and Team Extreme. And it's my turn to take over the Team Chicago YZF. And as I head out to wrap this race up, the final endurance for 1999, the last hour, the last endurance of the 20th century. Well, the bike's made it this far. Running a little slow, but it's running great. Uh-oh, disaster strikes Army of Darkness. Mark Young is getting off the bike.
It's like he's out of gas. Put gas in it. Sorry. You're doing great, man.
Well, Army of Darkness was hauling the bacon until they had this disaster.
Okay, the tank's full. Did we lose one? All right, tightening up.
But it could have dropped the valve or blown a piston in that 750 Suzuki.
Call. That's an old Kevin Renzel tip.
Well, one lost cylinder just cost them second place overall in the points as I head down to the front straightaway. What a great year for Army of Darkness. They were charging 30 minutes from the end. They dropped the cylinder in that 750 Suzuki. The sum-up brother comes in for their final gas stop, a splash and go. They're on the same lap as Arclight Suzuki, but they're 1 minute down. Glenn Zarek takes a quick drink of water. He goes charging off. Arclight Suzuki on that 750 Suzuki is still up front. Really doing good out there, 85. It's Penn State, they're running in 6th. EBSCO Suzuki running 4th, 44, really charging. They want that championship, and they're in 5th place. Number 3 has moved up to 7th on that 600 Suzuki. It's Firestorm Racing. And as I come through the switchbacks for the final time, Arclight Suzuki is still up front. Some off with that charge. He's a minute down. MR Racing also on a 1000 Yamaha. He's running 3rd as I make the final corner to get the checkered flag. The final race of the 20th century as the Arclight crew cheers their team on. Trey Beatty winning at Road Atlanta and picking up the win. Second place sum off, MR 3rd, EBSCO Suzuki 4th, D&D 5th, Penn State 6th, Firestorm 7th, Carlisle 8th, 9th is Psycho Speed, Team Extreme 10th. And in the point standing, Arclight Suzuki moved to 2nd place, sum off overall. And in class, heavyweight superbike was sum off brother on that Yamaha, D&D on the Suzuki and heavyweight super stock. Army of Darkness on that 600 Suzuki and middleweight superbike. And Team Chicago, as I get a handshake from the starter, we picked up our first national title, middleweight super stock. As I head back into the pits. Let's check out the action in Open Super Stock, part of the National Challenge Series. Up front, it looks like Mark Young on that Vespa Kawasaki. Tim Beamesdorfer's running 2nd on the Yamaha. Joe Persiano on the Suzuki. And Mark Young's going to tell us about the point situation coming into this final at Road Atlanta.
Won the most races. I'm 3 points behind Joe, and I have to win the race, and if he finishes 2nd, we're going to be tied, and then the most wins the championship. So I just have to put together a good ride and try to win the thing, and that's basically what I have to do. That's my job.
As Tim Beamesdorfer moves past Mark Young, Joe Persiano is going to give us the rundown on the points and what his job is out here at Road Atlanta in this Open Super Stock Championship race.
I've got a 3-point lead on him. If he wins the race and I get 2nd, he's going to win the championship. I've got to do my best to beat him. If he happens to finish 2nd and I finish 3rd, I would win the championship. But this track here, that 900 goes good. It pulls out of turn 7 really hard. Got a lot of torque, but that GSXR 750 is really fast down through the S's. The Pirelli tires are really hooked up this weekend. So again, I'm just going to go out there, put my head down, and put them out in the wind.
Mark Young back up front on that Vespa Kawasaki, but moving by on that 1000 Yamaha. And that Beamersdorfer Racing is Tim Beamersdorfer going to the checkered flag, picking up the win. Tim Beamersdorfer, Mark Young second, Joe Persiano third. But as Joe predicted, as Joe told us, if he finishes third and Mark Young finishes second, Joe Persiano comes away as the 1999 Open Superstock WERA National Champion. Now let's go check out the action in the 600 Superstock Championship. And with the rain starting to fall, got a rainy day in Georgia as the Pirelli 600 Superstock Expert National Challenge race. And jumping out front, Mark Young on that 600 Kawasaki, Vespa, Marshall's driven in Fujiko Factory, Susco, Key and Shoei Redline. He's from Union Grove, Wisconsin. Grew up in Barrington, Illinois, and he is showing his domination of the 600 class as he stretches his lead over the competitors down the front straightaways who wait for second place. Second place is Joe Temperato from Ontario, Canada. Kenneth Schneider from PA. 600 Suzuki's running third. Shannon Bell is running fourth. But in the end, lapping through traffic, Mark Young on that Vespa, Marshall's driven Fujiko Factory, Susco, Kian, Shoei, Redline, 600 Kawasaki is the national champ of the National Challenge Series. Now let's check out this Michelin 750 race with drying conditions, but it's still slippery out there. Up front, that's like John Jacoby on that 750 Suzuki. You see Leah Gree, 84, and Joe Persiano, number 2. And this is the battle for the championship. These two riders from Arclight Suzuki. Leah Gree moves inside of his partner. And let's see what Leah Gree's strategy is with riding against his teammate at Road Atlanta.
Joe's been tough all year, and hopefully I can get the best of him one more time and try and snatch that championship away from him in the last minute. But yeah, we'll try and keep it a clean race. You know, the team has the championship clinched, so there's no reason for us to take each other out. So we'll try and make it a clean race. But I'd sure like to beat him.
We agree. Number 84 is ahead of his partner Joe Persiano on their Arclight Suzuki's. Suzuki Sport Pirelli Motion Pro. We agree he's got the advantage. The white flag. Still up front, John Jacoby. Second place now is Tim Beamersdorfer as we swing the camera back. Joe Persiano now has the advantage over Leah Gree as they come into turn 1. Leah Gree makes the move on the inside. This championship is going to be determined by inches. Joe Persiano moves back on the inside as they head up to turn 2. Got a battle going on for third and fourth. Joe Persiano's got the advantage coming into the left-hander, but Leah Gree makes the move, gets the line, a little shake as they head down to the start-finish line. Checkered flag coming out. Picking up the win is John Jacoby. Second place is going to Tim Beamersdorfer on it. Beamersdorfer Racing 750 Suzuki. Leah Gree moves. Leah Gree picks up third place and the championship in the Michelin 750 Supersport, part of the WERA National Challenge Series. Leah Gree is the champ for 1999. And now in the driving rain, on Sunday, leg 2 of the GP Riders Association WERA 125 GP. Jumping out front, that's Mike Hemmelsbach on that Blackman Psycho, Team Hemmelsbach Racing 125 Honda, getting the early lead in the driving rain. Second place, it's like Jason DeSavo, also on a 125 Honda Alien Racing Applied Business System. Third place, Ben Spies from Texas. This is the final. There's been 6 qualifying races, and this is the final. 2 legs. Back on Saturday, it was Jason DeSavo in the drive, was showing Mike Hemmelsbach the way around Road Atlanta. Mike Hemmelsbach makes the move, but Jason DeSavo not to be denied. And going on to pick up the win in leg number 1. And back to the action on Sunday. Going on to pick up the win is Mike Hamelsbach on that Honda. Second place fell to Jason DeSavo. Hawk Mazzata was third. Nobi Izel was fourth. Picking up the championship in the GP Riders Association, GP WERA, was Mike Hamelsbach on this Honda. Now let's go check out the WERA Championship Banquet.
Let's move on to the team. And in first place,
Well, as I make my speech, we won the championship. I'm thanking everybody for helping out, 4 and 6 Dunlop tires, everybody that was involved.
Music for the show by Mike Freed's Intrigue, Travesty, and Engine. And all this music recorded at Fireside Studios, Westchester, Illinois. And special thanks to WERA and Denis Torres for the additional video footage. I could not have done it without their help. And for more information on WERA, America's road race leader, it's WERA.com. On Facebook, it's WERA Motorcycle Road Racing. For Road Atlanta, their website is roadatlanta.com. On Facebook, just go to Road Atlanta. It was a great day. It was a great championship. What big fun. To contact me, and I'd love to hear from my audience, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. And remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing for great motorcycle racing action. Dan Schmitt Politics to learn what makes America great. Steve Karson joined Team Chicago. We began to win. And I highly encourage you to visit the World of Motorcycle Museum. They're in Winamac, Indiana, 4 miles south of North Judson. They're on Indiana Highway 39. Give them a call first at 574-896-3172. It's a great trip and a great collection of motorcycles. And if you want to pick up a copy of the Team Chicago History Package, go to Rich's Yamaha in Lockport, Illinois, but call them first at 815-838-8130. Their website is richesyamaha.com to pick up your Team Chicago History Package. A great year, 1999.